Welcome back to the KIX 96.5 morning show. 32 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock. What we love, featuring indie artists on the morning show. And today we're heading back to New York to chat with award-winning singer-songwriter Robbie Harte. Robbie debuted her latest single, Sticks and Stones, right here on the morning show. And today she drops the video at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, noon Eastern Time. We're excited to have Robbie back on the show. Good morning, Robbie.
Good morning, Jeff. Thank you so much for having me back on. It's great to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming back on. Well, Sticks and Stones, it's out. The video's coming out, top of the hour. How's the response been to the song?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for giving it its first ever play, and I'm so grateful that you debuted it, so thank you so much. People are loving it. It's resonating with people everywhere. My dog is even barking in agreement that he loves the song. He's just letting you all know that he just loves the song. It moves him. But in all honesty, it's been getting so much radio airplay, so much movement. There are so many people reaching out to me and saying that they love the song and that it's, you know, something that they can all relate to. It's so highly relatable and infectious, and it's made quite a few charts so far. So I'm very, very pleased with how well it's being received, and I'm so glad to know that people are loving it.
Yeah, you've had a rough 7 months, Robbie. You got in an accident. You got in a vehicle accident. You did the song. You've been trying to recover. Now the video. So, I mean, it's got to put a smile on your face. After all this, here we are.
You know, you touched on so much right there, and I want to thank you for mentioning that, because especially for those who don't know me or who haven't been following my musical journey, that, you know, did take place 7 months ago, and almost exactly 7 months ago, and I was hesitating whether or not to release the song to begin with, because one, I wasn't sure that vocally it's where I wanted to be, and it wasn't my 100% Robbie sound, but it was my right now sound. And I thought, like, you know, if I wait and delay the release of the song, maybe I'll never be back the way I was. I said, let me just do it now, because this is the vibe I'm going for, and I'm really connecting with this vibe. So I did record it. I did hold on to the song for quite a long time, and I was like, you know what? Now is the time. This feels really right to be doing it, because after everything that I've gone through, I feel like the message is even more further empowering, and it speaks even more strongly to you can't break me or these bones, right? Like I can't be silent. This is perfect. And when it came to recording a video, you know, I said I'm not going to do a video because I'm not right in my typical state and in my normal state of how I normally am and how I, you know, get to move around, and just me. Period, you know, with everything I've been through treatment-wise, it definitely takes an effect on your body and everything and how you react to things. And, you know, getting in front of a camera is extremely humbling, you know, when you're going through something like this. But I said, you know what, this is even more an opportunity to celebrate and to say, hey, I've overcome this, I've overcome that. And this is part of the message, it's part of the movement with the song. And I felt this was the right move to do, and to just be out there and be proud of where I'm at in my journey right now, and say, hey, you know, I'm really proud to have released the song, to have it do so well, and to do this video and to share this with you and share this part of me and my journey with you. So I feel like it's even more empowering. It's really special to me as a person and as an artist, you know, because I didn't think I'd be able to get up in front of the camera and do this. But I have to say that the videographer I worked with was incredible. She really worked with me. She did a lot of techniques with drones where it looks like I'm moving, where I'm not really moving that much, but it's more of the drone moving. So it gives the illusion I'm moving a little bit more than I am. But I appreciate it because, you know what? I have a story to tell, and I didn't want to just tell it one-dimensionally. I didn't want to just release it with the song. I said, you know what? This gives it the complete picture, and I'm so pleased with how it came out.
Yeah, it's a great video. You can watch it at the top of the hour. Go and subscribe to our YouTube page. Go check her out, Robbie Harte. It's Harte. Also, RobbieHarte.com. Well, if you followed Robbie's journey like we have, Reason to Rise is a song about rising, helping out your daughter. She's your reason to rise. She's got autism. You've been able to overcome that, or at least, you know, adjust to that. This song, I think it's about gaslighting in a relationship, but also it's overcoming what you're doing right now. So I think it's a little different, but it's a perfect snapshot with what's happening in your life, and I think you'll always remember that because of what's happening right now.
I think you nailed it, you know. I think that sometimes we write something and it has one intention. You know, we have one thought when we're writing it and it has one application. But then as we're moving through our life, we say, this can really apply to this. This can really apply to this snapshot of my life. And it takes on a life of its own. And I think you've nailed it, because ironically, Reason to Rise came out in September of last year. And it was a song talking about all I'd overcome and how music and my love for my daughter gave me breath and allowed me to rise above, adversity, and really gave me hope. And then shortly after that, I was in this accident, which set me back quite a few months. But it was incredible how that song was there to remind me that even though I was going through something really difficult, that the music and my daughter were both there to give me inspiration to trek through it and to say, hey, this isn't a permanent thing. I'm going to get back to where I was. And so it's funny how we release something thinking one thing, right? Like there's one application to it, and then it comes back and either brings us comfort or it reminds us of something that we need to know. And that's truly what happened. The music that was inspired by two of my greatest loves, my daughter and music, and obviously my family, but it was there to comfort me through a new difficult situation and uplift me to be able to write this incredibly empowering anthem during one of the most vulnerable times in the last few years.
Yeah. Well, in her last video, Reason to Rise, she mentioned it came out in September. The video for it, I like how this Sticks and Stones kind of ties in with that. You said it's not shot at the same place, but it really looks familiar. And your wardrobe kind of fits with Reason to Rise. So where did you shoot this, Robbie?
Well, thank you for noticing that, by the way. Thank you for noticing the almost continuity, because for me as an artist, it's important to stay true to myself. And I really feel that over the last few months, for the last year, I really found myself. I found where I'm comfortable, how I'm comfortable, the clothing that makes me feel the most comfortable and really represents me, the scenery that represents things that are like really authentic to me. And the scenery that you observed is where I feel really at peace, and really it resonates with me. This was actually at a different location. It's actually the private residence, so I didn't tag the people because it's their private property.
Yeah, it's their house.
I didn't want to, how do you say that? Like disrupt their privacy on internet. But I'm very grateful that they offered me the opportunity. They actually had told me before, they had told my husband, you should have your wife come here and take photos. It's really pretty and da-da-da. And I was like, I can't do that. And this person that my husband knows said, really, just have your wife, you have to have her come here. And I was like, when I walked in there, I walked on the grounds and I was magically transported. I was like, wow, this is just so peaceful and it's beautiful and it's open. And it just had such a feeling of love. Like you could always tell, even though the land was expansive, you could always tell when something is cared for with love.
Yeah.
And I always choose to surround myself with places and people that, have that element of love, because it's contagious and you can feel it in the air. You can feel it, as you're walking through the property, you can just feel it, and it just helps to tell the story even better.
Well, and it's in New York, which it looks like you're in the West or somewhere else, so that's even cooler. Go check it out, Sticks and Stones. It comes out at the top of the hour. We're chatting with Robbie Harte. Go check her out, Robbie Harte with an E.com. Go in and subscribe to her YouTube page. This Cecilia Werner Productions, she directed this thing. First, how did you meet her?
So it's actually quite interesting because, you were saying earlier about the power of Facebook and, your daughter's picture is coming up. Well, I found her on Facebook because I had a long time ago done a search for local artists that do videos, and her name had come up, but then I ended up using somebody that I knew for a previous project. And then this time I said, I'm looking for something a little kind of closer to home. And so I Googled some places and her name came up again. And I said, what, let me reach out and see, if we click. And she was just so incredibly on my level when I just started speaking to her. It's like I'd known her forever, and she understood my vision. And the first words out of her mouth is, "I understand. This is a song about empowerment." I was like, "Oh my gosh, she's reading my mind!" And she's like, "No, I get this." And I'm like, "Wow, I don't have to explain where I want to go with this because it was already so apparent that it was just so awesome." And then she worked so beautifully with my limitations, helping me, to achieve the shots that I wanted and everything. It just came together so beautifully, and she was wonderful to work with. I actually did post a still shot today that she had taken during the shoot, and I absolutely love it. And one of the captions that I had written was, I was really hesitating to get back in front of the camera after these last several months. And I just can't believe how the picture came out, and it really captured me. And it's just an amazing feeling when you connect with another creator, and a creative or creator, and they get you. They get you as a person. They get you as an artist. They get what you stand for, and they get how to help you achieve your vision.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes it a lot easier, and you get the results
it does.
you get.
It really does. It really does. And you know what? I've worked with so many people and had the good fortune of working with so many talented individuals. This is the first time that I had a video shot by a woman. And it was just such a difference, because I've always had men shoot my videos, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just different to have like an all-woman crew. I had like, female makeup artist, female property, female videographer. So it was just a different vibe altogether, and it just really went well with this whole, empowerment thing. So it was just really awesome to work together, and I'm really excited to work with her again in the very near future.
Yeah, the video Sticks and Stones comes out at the top of the hour. Go and subscribe to her YouTube page. We're chatting with Robbie Harte. Go check her out, RobbieHarte.com. Was it your idea? Was it her idea that you're singing the song and you're doing the hand signals? You're kind of explaining it with your hands. I liked that. That kind of resonated, or it meant more. Was that her idea?
That was me, and it was a little bit over the top, if you ask me. So when I first was thinking of the concept of the video, right, because I'm fairly limited of what I can do movement-wise, I was imagining myself standing in front of a mirror and, like, talking back to a mirror, moving my fingers like I was 6 years old, And I was like, because that's what it feels like when you're, when I'm singing certain lyrics. And I was like, so that was where I was starting off with. But then when we got to the location and other things, kind of took their place, I was like, okay, there's certain opportunities to really emphasize certain words, because, you're calling somebody out, really.
Yeah.
It's just saying, like, hey, you're not behaving nicely. And it's almost funny, because if I would have done anything else, I feel like it would have been interpreted as dark and too serious. So I just feel like it was the right amount of levity in that instant, but
it works.
I hope it comes across okay. Yeah, I hope it comes across okay. It was just me being almost sarcastic, a little bit cheeky, and really just waving my finger and saying, hey,
No, I liked it, though. Wait till you see it. Sticks and Stones. I know it took you like 2 weeks to figure out your International Singer-Songwriters Award dress that you were wearing. How hard was it to pick out the outfits for the video?
So I think you were wrong. You underestimated the number of weeks for the dress, but thank you for making it look like I was that decisive. I appreciate it. No, seriously. Those wardrobe items were all things I had. So it was all things that were me. And that's one of the things that I was saying, really wearing things that, actually it's not true. One of the dress at the end was new. And the dress was the style that I was looking for that. But everything clicked instantly. Like, it was so easy, because it was really a reflection of just who I am. So it was very easy for me to just get dressed up as me. As opposed, a lot of times in videos I look for specific items to reflect specific feel or to reinforce certain vibe, But in this particular case, I was just being me. And although the dress was new, mostly everything else was mine. So it was just a question of, getting dressed up as me and enjoying who I am.
Yeah, well,
being comfortable with who I am.
Well, you look great, Robbie. How are you feeling?
Thank
Give us
you.
an update. What's going on?
Thank you so much for asking. So it's a work in progress, unfortunately with healing, sometimes it's a few steps forward and a couple of steps back, but overall it's positive. So I'm really working toward that goal of being better, and I'm working on it, and I'm taking my health seriously, and, making sure that I do everything I'm supposed to, and really make my health a priority so that I can be back as soon as possible and in the best possible way. But is slightly better right now, and I'm hoping it stays. But unfortunately, these things tend to be like temporary, so I'm waiting to see how time tells. But I am optimistic, and I thank you very much for your concern and all of your support. It's really just been amazing.
Today, the top of the hour, are we doing a YouTube watch party? What's happening at the top of the hour?
Oh, yes. So anybody who goes onto my YouTube channel, which is Robbie Harte Official, look me up at Robbie Harte Official, and you'll see there's a placeholder for the video, which will go live at noon. And there should be like the clock that says premieres in 12 minutes. And then if you click on it, it'll just automatically start playing at noon. Or if it doesn't start counting down, you can just refresh and it'll just give you that little circle thing where it notifies you and it starts counting down until it starts playing. So it'll also be up there for the rest of the time. So after it goes premiere, if you miss the premiere, it'll still be there. It's just that the premiere will take place all at once, and I will be in the chat on the premiere. So if anybody wants to stop by and say hello, I'd love to see you in the chat.
Yeah, go and check it out. Robbie Harte Official, ROBBIEHARTE, Robbie Harte Official. Go, and there's already people waiting in the room. It's 10 o'clock our time, noon Eastern time. Your daughter just got done with an algebra exam. Is this it? Is summer started? What's going on, Robbie?
You know what? It's so funny. I'm such a good mom that I made a mistake. Algebra was yesterday. Earth science was today.
Okay.
But yes, she's completely done with all of her exams. And she starts theater camp in the next week or so and some running activities. And, so it's going to be very exciting around here. And can't wait to see what the summer unfolds. And
I heard you told someone you have like 200 songs written.
I have a lot of songs written. I have a lot of songs that are like 3/4 written, half written, they're written, but they're missing flavor, missing some, sometimes they're written, but they're written out of anger and I need to wait till I'm a little bit more peaceful to have them come out the way that I want. I do have a lot of songs. I do have so many songs. I have some songs that start with like 3 lines and I know they're going to be bangers, but I'm waiting to get clarity to be able to continue. But yeah, I have quite a lot of songs. And it's funny because a couple of months ago I had to get a new iPhone and I didn't transfer my phone properly to the new phone. And I lost, I had to manually transfer all of my voice memos, and I had 1,300 voice memos of bits of songs that I was starting or ideas for songs. And I was just transferring them one by one. It was brutal, but we made it work, right?
Yeah, she's not slowing down anytime soon. Nothing's stopping her. Robbie Harte, Sticks and Stones, comes out at the top of the hour. Go and watch it at the top of the hour. 4 people waiting now. Robbie Harte Official on our YouTube page. Robbie, it's always an honor. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for your tremendous support. I appreciate you so much.
Yes. Robbie Harte, Sticks and Stones. Well, here's the song. It's Sticks and Stones. It's KIX 96.5.